So, Mary Lou, what are your memories of El Excentrico magazine?
The Excentrico was a very popular magazine in my time because it always had information about the clubs and whether there was going to be a wedding or there was going to be a formal dance, and everybody prepared. Everybody went out and bought a formal and got all excited and got your dates. So we used to. They were very, very, very exciting times for us. They were popular. We used to compete with each club would compete with each other.
What are you holding there?
I'm holding a picture of one of the Excentricos, one of the covers that was on Excentrico, and it's a group of members that we had like around the year 1960. 59, 60, yeah.
And what is the name of the group?
The group is Club Cuauhtemoc, and it had already been in existence maybe like about 5 years before us.
Okay, let's take a closer look at that picture.
There's
Okay.
Let me see, honey. Oh yeah, that's the one.
That's it. That's the original.
Okay,
This is the original.
this is and this is Mary Lou. What was your maiden name, Mary Lou?
Mary Lou Mercado.
Mercado. And who's this fine young man next to you?
That's Johnny Zamora.
Johnny Zamora. Tell us who's in this photograph.
The girl behind the little counter is Raquel Gutierrez, and she's a girl from Mountain View, and that's me behind the conga, Mary Lou Zamora, Mercado Zamora, and then this is Beatriz Gonzalez. She's a really good friend of mine, and then the next girl after that is Margie Coca. She's the sister of Hank Coca, and then we have over here. In the next row, Johnny Zamora, and then Gil Salazar. Is that his name, honey?
Solares.
Oh, Gil Solares. And then the other young man, I don't remember.
So, Mary Lou, tell me about what was the occasion of that photograph?
This was going to be a formal dance put on by the Club Cuauhtemoc, and so it's like an announcement to let everybody know, and that's what.
So
that
the
was.
picture appeared in El Excentrico?
It appeared on the cover of the Excentrico.
Oh.
This is the original one here.
Oh.
The original cover, and then that was all. That was all about that, about the club.
So, when you said you were involved in clubs, I'm always thinking of the Tejano clubs. This is not a Tejano club.
These were not Tejano clubs. There were like about maybe half a dozen social clubs that were all our people this age that you're showing here.
What names?
Young Mexican people.
What are the names of the other clubs?
There was a club Del Mar. It was a very large club, and
Sensory.
Club Zanzari and Club Elite. They were very, everyone tried to make it very social and very classy, and so it was very fun. It was a fun time for these young people to have these clubs, and they would have fundraisers. They would have floats in the parades, and they would do lots of fun things that would keep us busy, and we had a lot of fun.
What did you raise funds for? What kinds of causes?
We would raise funds like for the needy and for Thanksgiving and to give to the people, and anybody that needed funds for some reason, we would have a fundraiser, and it would have to be like a party or a dance, and that's how we would raise money for different things because it was not just social. We did a lot of that kind of stuff, community stuff.
Did you give the money to individuals who were needy, or did you give them to organizations?
I want to say that we did give it to the organizations.
Such as?
Let's see. I can't think of anything. I mean, maybe the. Well, for Thanksgiving, we would give the bags to people that would just come, and we would have a site where we would say we're going to be giving out bags of food or turkeys or whatever we would have raised.
John, what do you remember about the club and its activities?
Well, we had different clubs. We had social clubs. The ones that Mary Lou was talking about are social clubs, which we would have dances and we'd get together. We'd have parties, and of course we did distribution of food. That was a big thing. The can drives and things like that. During the holidays, I think all the clubs participated with them. Cuauhtemoc was the leader because it was one of the very first, and their membership was primarily people that had graduated from the university, so they're very astute. And then we'd have the social clubs of girls and social clubs of boys, and then we'd have dances together and we'd get to meet that way. There was a lot of socializing in that way.
People married each other.
And then, of course, we had the Club San Joaquin and the Club Mañana, and those were sports clubs. And we had a sports league. And we played on Sundays, we played baseball against each other, football against each other, basketball against each other. And that was a big time. Then we had, like Club San Joaquin was all people from the valley, San Joaquin Valley, Fresno, Tulare. Then we had San Felipe, who were all from Del Rio, Texas, people who lived in un barrio called San Felipe. And Casa Mañana were all the mostly local people.
Earlier you mentioned about the club had college people. Tell me about the college people.
Well, we had, like Becho Gloria graduated from Notre Dame, but he was a musician. He used to play piano with Bob. Yeah, and we had Hector Moreno, who was an attorney. There were social classes.
Mexican social.
Yeah, there were social classes, and Cuauhtemoc, we all looked up to it because the leadership that they showed was an educational type, while other groups, we were fun type. We wanted parties, and education was not a prime concern. What was a concern of the social clubs was having a good time and being able to meet together and feel safe by being together.
Mary Lou, you commented also on the college. What kinds of, can you remember what schools these people went to?
Well, the University of Santa Clara, Notre Dame, like Johnny said, Becho Gloria was our graduate from there. San Jose State, a lot of them went to San Jose State. So
What was Becho Gloria's profession?
he was a chemist. He was a chemist, and he was working for one of the big companies at that time. I don't even remember. I'm sorry, don't remember, but I think it was one of the big Westinghouse.
Were there women who went to college at that time?
Yes, there were some women that had graduated from college too. We had Raquel Serna. Raquel Serna was let's see, her maiden name was Casiano.
Social services that worked for the Santa Clara County And at that time, to hold positions that they held, they had to have a degree in sociology, and they did. San Jose State was a big contributor to the Latino community as far as graduates with social services and law enforcement, things like that.
What else do you recall about the clubs?
Well, there were a couple that clubs that I remember were Tejano clubs. They were all people that came from Texas, and they were very close, and they met. And one of them was Club Amistad, and that's one of the clubs that we still have family that belongs to that. They're cousins of John, so we have always gone to their functions, and they get together. They have their home patio parties now, and now we're all elderly. We're all in our 80s, and so but they still get together, and they have menudo breakfasts, and the ladies have always helped the church, and they make menudo and they sell it at the church, and the funds go to the church.
Which church?
The one that this club is involved with is the Most Holy Trinity on East Evergreen area.
Does Cuauhtemoc Club ever get together?
We have not gotten together with Club Cuauhtemoc for a long, long time, but I know that they still exist. There's very few members, and they still exist. And they're members like brothers, younger family members of the old members. And they have a website, and it's very upbeat now, but they still get together. Apparently, they sent us a email, so they meet in, most of the members live in the Mountain View, Cupertino area. So that's where they meet, in Mountain View.
We're looking at El Excentrico, November 5, 1959. And that's the issue in which the photo that Mary Lou and Johnny were in was on the cover. There's another picture, Mary Lou. Who are the people in this other picture?
Okay, from left to right, it's Roy Ordonez, Joe Rodriguez, Irma Mireles, Hank Paramo. I don't remember this girl's name, but then we have Gloria Caravallo, Sierra, who's married to Dave Sierra. Roy Ordonez, Joe Rodriguez, Irma Mireles, Hank Coca, Ana Dominguez, Gloria Caravallo, Sierra.
Okay, here's a picture, CSO Beauty Contest and an anniversary ball. It's got a number of people, but mainly it's talking about musician Joe Rodriguez. What do you recall about Joe Rodriguez in this picture, John?
Well, Joe Rodriguez was a bass player. His children were all musicians. But Joe was playing with my brother Bob, and when Bob was drafted into the Korean War, Joe took over the band, and I think that has to be a circulation of about 1956, 57, 55, somewhere in there.
So the caption on the photograph says band leader Joe Rodriguez and his modern orchestra will provide music for dancing during this gala event. Left to right, Virgie Molina, Connie Rodriguez, Joe Rodriguez,
That's
Rachel Andres. The caption on this picture says that we have Virgie Molina, Connie Rodriguez, and I understand that is Joe Rodriguez's daughter, and Rachel Andres. And John, you say this is around 1956?
Yeah, 56, 57, I would say.